meeting to order. I see that Paulo had to leave, but everybody else is here, right? We're good. Yeah. Land recognition, we already did that. I read at AGM. Read at AGM. Any declarations of conflict of interest? Nope. Okay. And hope you guys had a chance to look at the agenda. If I can get a motion to approve the agenda, move her to there. Seconder, David, thank you. We don't have any delegations. Chair's report, Wayne. The super conference report.
So it's in your package. It's pretty brief. Super conference, and it's just to give you a flavor for, and I don't have my notes with me, which doesn't help. So there's so many workshops to choose from. If you haven't been to super conference, those are the ones that struck a chord with me, that either because of the work I do with the library or because of the work I do someplace else. So you have a variety of different things. Of course, boot camp is always good for board members to attend. You can see some of the workshops that were there. Again, I could spend about an hour and a half with you highlighting some of the workshops. They were all excellent. And then there's the trade fair that's worth seeing. Like I said, if you haven't gone, you need to go at least once and embrace what they have to offer. Keynote speakers are also fabulous. So, yeah. So you can. All I gave you was a list of the different workshops I went to. I didn't know how much detail you'd want, so I wrapped it up with that. Okay, that's it for me.
Thank you. So we have the consent agenda. And are there any items removed? The minutes in there, do we have any matters arising from them, or are they good? Okay. So I need a motion to approve the consent agenda. Jamie? Sure. Kevin? Sure. Business arising from the minutes, the ILS switch.
Right. I talked to some of the board at the finance committee meeting about this, and I said I would give a little bit more of the detail before at this meeting for the benefit of all the board members. So the project's substantially done, but there's still quite a bit of work to be done. There's still some things to implement, like there's an app that we want to implement. We're part of the consortium, it's part of the deal. We just haven't set it up yet. OSA, that was our online acquisitions tool that we were using previously with TLC. When we actually got into using CRC Dynamics' one, we found it very unsatisfactory. And then we started contacting other libraries in the consortium and saying, how are you finding it? And then they were telling us that they weren't using it, that they were using other third-party acquisition tools. I know CRC Dynamics is currently developing one through their Blue Cloud suite of products. And I expect that they will have one that will tie better into their current ILS system. But in order to meet our needs, we decided to stay with OSA. And so there's an additional cost related to that. Fortunately, I did buffer the software budget. And so that we were able to afford that additional cost. But we're going to be keeping with the same acquisitions module that we had been using previously. There is, however, some things that we have to do in terms of setting it up so that it works properly with Symphony. And Michael's currently working on that. That's his priority project right now. Once that's complete, then we'll be able to start using the acquisition module, making sure the purchases are going through it.
So this is just book acquisition, right?
Just book
It's
acquisition.
not furniture and.
No.
So would that, does the city have an acquisitions function?
For furniture and other capital
I
things.
wonder
they
just in
need to be
general for
prepared.
purchase.
I would have to talk to city purchasing about that. The OSA that we're using, that would be for physical collections and electronic collections, so databases and Overdrive and other things like that.
Okay.
But they all go through there. There's a number of bugs that we're still working through. Some of them are going to resolve themselves with time. They're related to data migration, and so automatic renewals were not working for books that were checked out prior to the migration, but they're going to work for all the ones since the migration. And so after time, after 6 months, some of those bugs will work themselves out.
Right.
Other ones we're currently adjusting a few settings in the system. I think the holds shelf had to be adjusted by a day, and so we're making those changes as we encounter issues with those. Then I just got some information on the Biblio Commons customization today, so we should be able to start customizing our staff lists and there specific to us. And Blue Cloud Analytics, that'll come a little bit later, but that will be the system that we'll use to get the nice stats from to Circe Dynamics' stats. Currently, they're not particularly great. They don't look very good, but this is part of the consortium purchase. All the other consortium libraries are using the Blue Cloud Analytics, and we're part of it. So that was part of the original deal. It's just haven't implemented that part yet. And once we get through some of these higher priority ones, that we'll go through Blue Cloud Analytics by the time we have to do next year's annual report, I'm sure. And that's about it for the update on the ILS.
Any questions from the team? How long is it going to take to get the OSA configured to work with Symphony?
Michael's been working on it the last week or so. He's ill today, that's why he won't in attendance at the AGM. So we're hoping within this next week.
Oh, okay. The auto renewals that you said weren't working though prior to the migration, has that produced any negative feedback or any confusion for patrons at all?
Yeah, it's created a little bit, more so for the staff. They've gone through some things to do manual updates as they see them.
Okay.
So the holds lists was an issue when we first transitioned because all the holds became active when people had suspended a lot of the holds. And so staff had to go in and suspend holds that were supposed to be suspended.
Okay.
So there are things like that that staff are going in and manually changing as they encounter it with people's accounts. So we're fixing them as we go. And
hopefully it won't last too long. Like,
and some of these things we expected, some of them not so much, but we're dealing with everything as they come up. The implementation team is pretty good at communicating so that all of circulation and North Branch know what changes are being made to the circulation settings and stuff. So.
okay, good. Thanks. Great, we can with some information items. One is the freedom to read.
So Freedom to Read Week started yesterday.
Yeah.
It's an annual event in Canada, and where we try to raise awareness about challenges to library materials and programs and censorship in Canada. And so each year we do promote freedom to read, and usually we have some really interesting book displays and stuff upstairs to highlight what's going on.
And any questions about that?
To take it important with what's been going on in Alberta with some of the censorship happening. And
I was gonna say, what books do we have upstairs?
yeah,
I'll have to go out and take a look.
we tend to when somebody challenges something, we look at the list of challenged books and we purchase from that list. The things that we don't have. Yeah.
Great. Okay, if there are no questions or comments, we can go to the library and TikTok.
So if you look at Wayne's report, he attended a session on TikTok in public libraries.
Can I jump in, Matthew?
Yep, go ahead.
So one of the sessions I went to is called TikTok Shenanigans, and it's Bracebridge Public Library. They were going through a whole campaign for a new build, and they were using TikTok to promote what they were doing. So I suggested to Matthew that we create similar videos with the ILS change, and then realize we can't because we are blocked by the city, which goes against our policy of freedom of expression. So what I suggest at this point is that we refer it to the policy committee for study or appropriate response. Regardless of what the city is doing on this matter, the library is an independent body, and so that ban, in my view, should be challenged.
What is the ban? Is it just using TikTok as a social channel?
I think the city banned TikTok from all city-owned devices. Is that about right, Matthew?
Phones can't have it, right? Is that-
Yeah.
It's, I believe, for security concerns,
Right.
originally.
So obviously not using TikTok.
No, I'm not either.
I don't use it.
Did you find out more information from the city about what's going on behind that?
I can. I sent Wayne a news article that was a couple years old, and I haven't heard any update about any changes to the policy since then. But I can make inquiries.
There was a different reaction a few years back, and no one was sure. They were afraid of the Chinese and their involvement, and nothing has come to fruition. But I think as the librarian, we don't ban anything else, and we keep the place open to various forms of electronic communication. That there's need for study here by the board, and it violates our own policies. So I think we need to take a look at.
Yeah, and I think TikTok is owned in the States now.
Yeah.
So the original concern of being Chinese owned no longer applies. And it really is an avenue for young kids. Like there is a lot of younger kids that use it. So
Yeah.
if you want to reach them, you got to be where they are.
And there are some great, I don't use it a ton, but I do have it. There are some great library stuff on there that is worth consideration. Like there's some really great stuff.
Yeah. But isn't it
Yeah.
one thing to have, as the city or as a company or a corporation to ban the app on a city-owned device? And isn't it another thing to use it for marketing purposes, like making videos? Like I can understand why the city might want to not have it on their own devices, but marketing purposes is completely different from that.
See, that's the other part of the issue. The library is independent of the city. So we set our own policy. And so for the city council to pass a motion to ban TikTok on all city devices when we're not part of that. We shouldn't have never been part of that in the first place.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
I think this needs to go to policy committee, take a good look at it and come up with an appropriate response. And the view on TikTok, like Kevin just said, is changed and you know, it is being used. Take a look at what Bracebridge did. They had the mayor involved in a TikTok. They did some really creative things to promote their library and to promote their new builds. And that's how I got started down this path. But the big problem is, like I said, it violates our own policies. So we're independent and we should be coming up with a response to that. I know I'm late to the race here, but at the same time, better late than never. So thanks.
We do use the city's internet though, right?
Yeah, we're on their network.
Yeah.
So
So if we want to be independent,
yeah, so there may be ways we can circumvent it if we had a mobile device that was not connected in any way to the network.
yeah, I mean, we're banned because they've banned it on their network.
Yeah.
We're not banned because we're underneath their policies or whatever. So, I mean, you're right. We could figure out a way to do it.
So
Matthew,
go ahead.
are library devices still bought, owned, and provisioned by the city?
The computers are. Some things like laptops, they're kind of going through us now. So we're a little bit more independent in that respect. We could get like a tablet or some other mobile device, potentially that is monitored and maintained by us instead of city.
Because that'd probably be their other argument that it's their devices too, right? They provision them. It's on their network. It's connected to their infrastructure.
We purchased the devices through the library budget. Do we not?
Yes.
The city is not providing our computers.
We never see the computers until they've gone through city though. So we buy them and through city, they arrive at city,
Yeah.
and then they image them and then they send them to us.
Yeah, but they're owned by the library. And like, I don't want to get into a fight with the city, but I think this is something the board needs to take a look at in terms of our own policy.
I think it's something the city needs to take a look at too.
Yeah, for
Probably.
sure.
Absolutely. And maybe we can kickstart that.
Yeah, and my information, like I said, is several years old. So I would have to go back to them, but my understanding is that that was put in place and I haven't heard otherwise since then.
Yeah, and I think, like, I really do think that was a reaction to it being Chinese owned. And just recently that's changed. So now there's assurances that the data stays in the States. I mean, I don't know if the States is any better for us. I think it might even be worse.
Yeah.
We're being part of
So
it.
do you need a motion to
I was gonna, do we need to have a motion to refer to the policy committee then?
Is that what we asked for?
Yeah, you did ask for that.
Okay, does he have a motion?
Yeah, you want to give us a motion, Wayne?
Sure, I'll make a motion to refer this matter to the policy committee for review.
I'll second it.
Okay. Right. For development, nothing?
Well, we did get registered for that HR webinar. And the first session is coming up in about 10 days. It's a two-part.
So I think it's this week.
Is it this week?
It's this week.
Okay, I'm off a week
Yeah.
then. So it's in this room on
Yes.
Thursday.
It's,
10:30?
Yeah, they're during the day, 10:30. They might get recorded though.
Okay, if
Recording to be
they do,
available.
could you, if you,
I'll ask,
Yeah.
I'll find out, I'll let you know.
I wasn't sure if it was that you had to attend live or you could look at it later or,
It's going to be registered to remind them HQ.
right? Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
That's the way I was able to. If I get the recording, I might be able.
There's only one USB-C port on there.
That's the They should send around a
Ridiculous.
I don't think you get the Q and A. That's part of the.
Yes.
You get the second. They usually.
I'm not sure if
send
it's
around
on
a
like, yeah.
document. And the trans. I think.
Should get a splitter
It
down.
might be around to do that. Because I might wanna go through that anyway. I might wanna go through the slides later anyway.
Are we good down there?
I'm sorry.
Sorry, I just had to change it to the charging port, so
Oh,
if
okay.
there's any audio
Yeah.
issues.
Okay.
Hopefully not.
Okay.
So that's the revision to the agenda then, that we're adding the HR employee development.
Sure. Okay. So we need. Anything on
I'm really then.
it? Maybe just have that. Yeah.
That was decided at last meeting.
Okay.
That was when I bid. I forget what it cost, but I didn't. Yeah.
Okay. New policies, done. We already had the strategic plan update. And then number 13 is the Library Act legislation, the self-evaluation update.
So, Jamie, went through and, did some updates to it, and then I went through and verified, made some, alterations myself. And so this is kind of where we stand now. From the way I view the documents. So we made progress. The things that are kind of outstanding is the collection plan. So the collections librarian has been working on that. They were supposed to spend a substantial part of November and December working on the plan. So I have a meeting scheduled with her, I believe, next week or the week following, to go over that. And then the technology plan, that was put on hold. That's what Michael's working on. But because we were doing the iOS switch, he was currently inventorying all the equipment, and so that's the way for that reason. Indigenous awareness and reconciliation. We've begun that one. We've done a number of things on there. It's one of the larger kind of action items in the report. I do have a draft Indigenous awareness and reconciliation commitment statement. However, I'd like to get input from some Indigenous members of our community stakeholders before we proceed with approving something like that. And then the job descriptions, I've updated job descriptions. However, we still need QB's input on finalizing those. So, we're in the process of updating job descriptions, but they're not updated at this point, and it's going to be part of a larger process for pay equity. So we're making progress, but that's not there yet either. So if we're lucky, we should have the collection plan done early this year. The technology plan, Mike will be able to start working on that again once we get all this ILS stuff under there's belt done. And then I think we should be able to do the Indigenous awareness and reconciliation without much issue. Maybe we can aim for June, since that's the Indigenous awareness month. The job descriptions, that's probably gonna take you there. But that'll be something that I looked on this year.
So the reality is, taking into account everything you just said, we did score excellent.
Yes.
And you don't have to complete everything before you
No.
begin the accreditation process, because the accreditation is, once you're accredited, I think that the person who gave us training last year, I asked her that if we scored excellent on the self-audit, would we pass accreditation? And she said yes.
Yeah. My only concern is the outstanding mandatory items.
The outstanding one?
The mandatory items.
The
Was that
outstanding
these months?
mandatory items? You think they're mandatory even if you have an excellent score? They would prevent us from being accredited?
They might, yeah.
Oh, and you could get clarification on that.
I will, but it says that the
Oh, because
mandatory
mandatory is right.
is
Mandatory.
self-employed.
Yeah, mandatory.
Okay,
Yeah,
like, so they wouldn't be happy to hear that you're working on it, they want them.
yeah, if they found out that you didn't have a CEO, they'd be like,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so the two pink ones on the page.
So the mandatory items are the ones that I listed.
Yeah, you should stop that. So bottom line, do you see us getting accredited, applying for accreditation this year?
Or if we work hard, we can possibly get it ready for fall.
Because the period is like September to November.
Yeah.
It's a 6-week period. But would you not sort of notify them that you're planning to, so that they put you in the queue
Yeah, we could. I can.
and pay your $200?
Can reach out to them.
Right.
About that. But and let them know where we stand in terms of our self-evaluation and what we're working on.
Yeah, we've been excellent for, I think, at least 3 years.
Yeah, the thing is that there's a lot of non-mandatory items on here that we've achieved in addition to the mandatory ones. So it's just a few things, but I mean, it does still take substantial work to get it completed.
And we set a goal to have our pie for the fall.
What
Oh, wait.
that'll be my goal. I can reach out and get their opinion and tell them where we're at and see how they respond.
Wayne? You're on mute.
Yeah, thanks, I know. My wife wished she had that button. So this came up at Super Conference too, because of the gala and the, so I talked to some other boards about how they're dealing with the accreditation. And it's a 5-year cycle, and so the timelines are in place so it can be recognized at the Super Conference in January. So I think that's why. And I know there's been a lot of other things on your plate, Matthew, but this one's been hanging around for a while. It would be nice to get through that process, and so we can be certified, accredited rather.
Yeah, I'll make that a priority for this year. Of course, I have to make it a priority for some of the staff because it's their responsibilities in some of those areas. But I've kind of laid off on Michael a little bit with the ILS project, saying, "Hey, don't worry about this right now." But hopefully by March, he'll be able to start working on it again.
Okay, yeah, it's good. That's a good timeline. I think we have lots of time. Like I said, this has been hanging around too long. One board said they were able to complete the process in 6 months. I didn't ask for too much detail, but that must have been all they focused on, considering the amount of work that's involved here.
Is there anything the board needs to do in this area?
Don't believe anything in particular. I mean, you'll
Apart
have,
from the policy
yeah,
development?
So what I suggest through the chair is that maybe give us an update at our next board meeting and let us know if we can adhere to those timelines.
yeah.
Yeah.
Shouldn't
Okay.
send me away. I learn things.
Business dealing, if there's anything for new business. Brings us to the board meeting, so next regular meeting is in March on the 30th. And then we have a board development meeting April 27th.
Chair, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Sorry. Under new business, you and I and Matthew have been talking about board recognition. I don't know if you've mentioned what's been happening, Matthew, in that, or did you want to?
Yeah, I've scheduled it for the March meeting. They go more in depth.
Okay. Sorry.
But just to give you a quick update, Jamie had been working on the board legacy documents.
I forgot about that.
You put a lot of research. You put a lot of research in. I've got a version of the document currently on the website. It's under board and then board documents. In addition to that, there's supposed to be a legacy wall according to the policy, and I recently talked with Abby about getting some work started on getting that produced and then so we can put it on the wall. The other thing is we need pictures of you guys.
I was gonna say.
We haven't had pictures of this board.
Next
Done.
board meeting, took a lot of pictures.
Yeah, and if we can't get a nice picture of you, I'm gonna just take the Zoom shots and post those. So maybe we can plan something in the future to get some good shots. If we want to set up a day for you to come in, we can maybe set up appointments or just get you when you're coming in for committee meetings.
Oh, I'll have to book my stylist.
There you
Can
go.
I just, Matthew, can I just send you a headshot?
A
Or
hard
do you
shot?
want them- That work?
Well,
Headshot or mugshot?
you're
One
wanted
shot,
Wednesday shots?
take your pick.
It depends. Like we could do it that way where we just have individual headshots. What we've done in the past is we've used the same backdrop for everybody. So that there's kind of a consistency in the pictures. But I'm fine with whatever the board wants to do. So if you want to send in your best picture,
I'd rather not a
AI
headshot.
photo. AI.
maybe we
So
can hire a
that-
cartoonist.
We can be
to-
caricatured, yeah.
Set it up for the next board meeting. With the background.
Everybody
And
in
then-
person.
Yeah, and then if somebody can't make it, say they're ill or for some other reason, what we can do is we can schedule a separate one for that reason. Sound good?
Okay, sounds good. Okay, we just get a motion to adjourn then. Have party's over. Second. Awesome, thanks, guys. Thank you, everybody online, David, Wayne, Mike. Bye.